I'm living proof that if you're given a fair opportunity to compete, many of us are willing to confront the challenges and meet expectations. Women, seniors, people of color, people with disabilities, we have hopes and dreams, and we strive for success. And we're just like everyone else. And we have had progress in the United States with the ADA Amendment Act of 2008. There needs to be additional efforts, such as the media and SAG, AFTRA, I always call SCAG because that's what I belong to. SAG, AFTRA, AEA, you're the ones who are out front and can make it clear to the media and to those who control the media that it's time to make changes. While other unrepresented groups have made some progress, and while we all talk about the success of ADA amendments, we need to have inclusion and accurate portrayals in the media of people with disabilities, and that has not happened so far. Today, we see able-bodied performers and actors play characters with disabilities. And you know, that's like, I remember there a time when African Americans were shown with whites with blackface. So it's the same concept. Give people a chance to have careers in those things where they have the abilities and that they can make a difference. And when given a chance, we all know we've seen distinguished performers and actors who've come forward and have made it very clear that all you have to do is give a person a chance, whether or not they are limited in terms of hearing or other disabilities. You know, the word retard we hear sometimes in the media. It's something we have to start thinking twice about using that kind of word. Disability issues are human rights issues. They should be treated with the same consciousness and with the same kind of respect. I heard you mention access, and access is important. Access, whether it's coming on the stage, whether it is a script, whether it is the kind of facility that makes provision for access, whether or not it's access with transit, or whatever thing it takes to get there so you can do the job. It's important. And finally, I'd like to share with you, after 16 years, representing 2.5 million people in the county of Los Angeles, I'm retiring. So I'm going to start being part of another group, retirees of the U.S. I urge you, and every one of you, and particularly to the press and to the media, let's give everyone a chance. That's all we ask, is just a chance and an opportunity, and it makes everything better. It opens up horizons for individuals, but it makes our country stronger. It makes the entity, the media, stronger. So thank you to these organizations who are out here at the forefront, and we're with you.
Thank you, Congresswoman Burke. Our next speaker is best known for being a regular on television's Sesame Street for more than 30 years. She broke new ground when she was cast as a series regular on Search for Tomorrow, in a first-of-its-kind role as a deaf actor using sign language and interacting with hearing cast members. She has performed in television, film, and Broadway, and has authored 2 sign language books. Welcome, Linda Bove.
I wanted to let the camera people know that I'm going to be off to the side. I won't be standing at the podium so that I can be seen. Good morning. I would like to thank everyone who is here and who's participating in this event and for allowing me to be part of this committee of performers with disabilities. I'd like to start by saying a few words about performers with disabilities. When I first moved to California over 20 years ago, the first thing that I was asked to do was to come to the union. I'm a dues-paying member of all 3 unions, and I wanted to know what the union was doing for me and for their other members. And I fought very hard, and I got other actors involved. We had a fight for recognition to gain access, which has been mentioned already today as one of our 3-pronged approach. I needed access to auditions to begin with. I needed auditions to get a job, which meant for me that I needed access to sign language interpreters, which presented a very big obstacle at the time. Producers, casting directors, other people in the industry were very reluctant to hire interpreters. All they saw was the cost, and they had a very limited way of thinking that was based on ignorance and fear, as has already been mentioned. And so that's the reason that I'm here and that I've been here off and on for the last 10 years with performers with disabilities, and I've moved on to other things as well. It's very important to me that we have a tri-union coalition to support this push for awareness. For people in the entertainment industry, in the media, people who have the authority to hire and provide jobs, everybody needs to get involved and be very active in our efforts. It's not something that one person can do alone. One person won't necessarily justify the changes that need to be made, and it's high time. And I understand that the focus has been on other minority groups, people of color, senior citizens, and women, and we are the forgotten minority. It's time that we shine the light on performers with disabilities, and I'm thrilled that we have support from all 3 of our unions. Now that we have the floor as a representative for the deaf and hard of hearing community, I'm very aware of my status as last on the list to gain that attention, but I'm pleased with the progress that we've made so far. And I hope that we can give that access to deaf and hard of hearing performers, writers, directors, and grow our community because we have such a rich talent just here in Los Angeles alone. And that community is seeking their access, and they're looking for the opportunity to be seen and heard. And it's time that we bring them to the forefront and let their voices, not their voices, let them be seen so that we can share in the success that other performers have done, and other performers with disabilities as well. We have a double whammy. My deafness is not visible. When you look at me, you can't tell that I'm deaf. I walk into a room and nobody knows that I'm deaf. I don't appear to have a disability. So that's a double whammy for me. It makes it harder for me to overcome that bias. I have a strong passion for supporting access for all artists, whether we are hard of hearing or deaf. Oh, and to let you know, the current term is not hearing impaired. We have made progress in being recognized as a cultural minority. We are deaf and hard of hearing. I would love to see somebody signing on these videotapes, the video roll that we saw earlier. I would love to see open captions on all these sorts of events.